What do you do when you're feeling powerless in your family? It's one of the worst feelings in the world when you don't have the power to change the situation of yourself or the people around you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the things that you could do to feel like you have the power to change things. Because frankly, you do. You've always had this power, you just don't know it yet. If you watch this entire video, I don't promise that you'll instantly feel powerful. What I do promise is that you'll feel like you have more control in your own life and your ability to change things. So what does it mean to be powerless? It can be the notion of not having enough time or money to make a significant impact in people's lives or yourself. It can also feel like you have a lot of external things that seem to be blocking your life. And for some people, it's also as simple as having regrets and wishing that you did something better. There's plenty of other ways that powerlessness could manifest itself, but I find that these seem to be the most common ones. But regardless of what you're feeling, any type of feeling towards powerlessness just doesn't feel good. And if you've been feeling anything similar, it's important that you get rid of this feeling, because if you don't, it can eat you up inside. So let's work on that first. Before we do any physical action, we have to supplement it with some mental support, some mental strength. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is realize that you're watching this video. And by watching this video, you have proven to me that you have the spare time to do things that can change your life. And the realization that you have time to change yourself is something that's super important towards stopping yourself from feeling powerless. Feeling powerless is not an issue with having a lack of power, it's an issue of awareness. We think we don't have time to improve. We don't realize that there's opportunities close to us. And when we're strapped for cash or we feel a lot of pressure from life, we panic and we go into survival mode. We work as hard as we can and do intense hours of labor to make sure that we can survive and continue the next day. But that type of mentality is like having a house fire and forgetting that most houses come with a fire extinguisher. There are already ways to save that house in the house. And if the house represents our life and our life is on fire, then one of the fire extinguishers that we have is the internet. People will only use that fire extinguisher when there's an actual fire. People will only go on the internet when they need to find opportunities because they need more money or else they can't survive. And so these fire extinguishers are good, but they're not amazing. They don't help improve our life. They just prevent it from getting worse. They allow us to feel less financial pressure and get us out of survival mode. But what's important towards improving and removing the feelings of powerlessness is what comes after getting out of survival mode. So don't get me wrong, you're doing a great job, but you could do even better. And I want you to believe that. After you get out of survival mode, there are multiple different chances that you have towards improving your life. In general, you can keep working at your current job and get even better at it so that you get paid more. Or you can use your time to learn something new, and that thing could convert into making you more money. And this is where most people mess up. Most people do not take these multiple chances that they have in their life. People start to take their foot off the pedal because there's no longer a reason to work as hard. They get out of survivor mode, and so the thing that's been motivating them to push themselves as hard as they can goes away. Because of this vicious cycle, people will work for years and not realize why they're not making any progress. And it's okay to have this lifestyle if you enjoy it. Some people are okay with not having as much power. But this also isn't the lifestyle that allows you to stop feeling powerless. There's an old saying that goes that we can't pour from an empty cup. In order to unlock the ability to change things, you need to improve your situation so that you have a higher capacity to help people. You need to improve your own life first. If someone you care about asks for $500 and you only have $250 in your bank, even if you wanted to, you couldn't give that money. So the question becomes, how do we make more money? This thing that is a currency of power and the thing that gives you a voice at the table. The simple answer is to put yourself out into the world. You may have tons of value to provide, but if you are not getting in the face of a bunch of people, whether it's social media, the internet, close friends, calling people, texting, any type of way to communicate with anyone, the world will not know the value that you have. No one will walk up to your doorstep and offer you a job. It just doesn't work that way. And it definitely didn't work for me. The value that I had at one point was that I was an average student that procrastinated sometimes, but I worked hard. And my family always struggled financially, and so that was a big motivator as to why I was going to school and why I pushed myself so hard. I was around 18 or 19 when my family decided that they needed to sell the house because they didn't have money to keep it. I tried a bunch of things at the time, like giving a bunch of ideas towards my parents on how to make money, or even working myself so that I had money to give them so they wouldn't sell the house. But just like the house, as well as other things throughout my childhood, I didn't really have the power to change anything. But because I felt such powerlessness, it pushed me to get out of my room and to go out into the world and to ask the world what I could do for them. And at the time, although it was helping me improve and grow, the feeling of powerlessness never went away. But I knew that if I kept on going forward, if I didn't take my foot off the pedal, one day I would be able to make a significant impact. I took those multiple chances that life gave me, those little pockets in time, and now fast forward 6-7 years later, I am the breadwinner of my house. I am able to support my family and I'm able to help them keep a roof over our heads. And at this point, does it mean that I stop? Well, no, I want to continue to grow. But in the context of my family, I want to avoid having an empty cup and I want to strive towards an overflowing one. And honestly, I feel like that's where you might be at too. You may feel like you want to help your family, but you don't have the ability to. And that's perfectly okay. But I don't want you to believe that you'll never have the ability to. If your family is a big part of your happiness, then try to pick up any positive ideas that I've been saying and try to implement them. The world is a crazy place right now where the internet allows us to find anything that we want. If the internet feels difficult to traverse for any reasons, then you're in luck because you found this video. You happen to be in the right place in front of someone that is willing to help you. Whatever the reason is, write down what you're struggling with in the comment section and I'll help you out. And one more piece of advice. If you're on the opposite side, instead of finding no opportunities, you have 100 different ideas running through your mind, there's an easy way to narrow it down. In order to decide what you can do to provide the most value and get the most returns back is to be a positive influence. I talked about how to be a positive influence in a past video, so I'll put it in my description below. So check that out if you want to know more about it. Being a positive influence allows you to grow your support system, make people more inclined to help you, and it teaches you a lot of positive traits that are important to companies and just in general collaborating with other human beings. Overall, I think you got this. Just don't give up. If you found this video helpful and you feel like supporting me, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, keep improving, stay productive, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.